So we're both uni students, we both want to travel, but how are we actually going to make it happen? Because I don't know about you, but I am not trying to wait till I finish uni or finally get my full-time big girl job where I hardly have any time off before I can start traveling. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing to make my travel dreams a reality and how you can do the same thing. We're going to figure out how much your dream trip costs, how to save for it, how to be smarter with your money, and turn that I want to travel into an actual plan. Okay, step number one, which is the most obvious, figure out how much your dream trip costs because you can't save for a goal if you haven't defined one. You can say, oh, I want to go to Bali, I want to go to Japan. That's amazing, but how much is Bali? How much is Japan? What's the accommodation looking like? What are the activities looking like? Before I even think about saving, the first thing I want to do is break down all of this into their categories. Flights, accommodation, food, activities, transport, travel insurance, spending money, and emergency buffer. I'm not saying that we need to have the exact amount down to the dollar of how much you're going to need for the trip, but having a rough estimate or having an idea will really help you actually plan for the trip rather than just saying, oh, I want to travel, whatever, but then you don't have an actual plan or a rough estimate or an idea of how much you're going to need. I would recommend putting all of this into a Google Sheet, Google Doc, your notes app, literally whatever works for you, but just so you can get the numbers out of your head and you can physically see it. You can't save for a goal you haven't quantified because that number is going to become your goal. Okay, so now I know how much I need, but knowing the number is not going to magically put money into my bank account. So we need to figure out where that money is actually going to come from. And this is where having a travel fund is extremely helpful. If you have an income, you can start with a percentage of it. So maybe 5%, 10%, 20%. Literally analyze your situation, do whatever works for you. I'm not saying that, okay, this is your check for the week, so you need to put 50% into your travel fund. Absolutely not. You know your situation better than anybody else, so you analyze that and figure out, okay, how much can I actually put away for this trip? Everybody's financial situation is different, especially as a student. Yeah. Thank God I have a job, but still, especially as a student, every financial situation is different. People have their own responsibilities, etc. So just do, again, what works for you. If you can only this week put $2 in your travel fund, that's $2 closer to that trip we're gonna book. You get me? Okay, this is the part where I'm actually preaching to myself. Sometimes it's not that I don't have the money, it's more about where my money is actually going. Because it's not every day you need a sweet treat. Because you see me, every week I'm going to get myself an iced matcha or a matcha latte. Is it necessary? Honestly, a lot of the time, no, it's not, but I'm just busy tapping my card. And at first it's like, oh, it's just $7. But then like when it's $7 5 days a week, it accumulates. Now, I'm not saying that like, okay, because of this, we shouldn't have a little nice treat every now and then, but then it just comes to the fact of thinking about your goal. I know, okay, I want to go to Bali, I want to go to Japan. This is how much I actually need to save for, but how bad do I want it? If I really want it bad, then I'm going to refrain from spending so much on an iced matcha every week and instead put that money towards my travel fund. That's if you really, really want to go for it. If you don't care, by all means, spend on your sweet treat. Not too much though. We still have to be responsible with our money. If traveling is something that you really want to do, then your spending needs to reflect that. And I think this is where we should stop thinking of like, oh, I can't afford to travel because I'm a student, but rather, okay, this is how much money I make now. What can I actually do with this? Because just because you're a student doesn't mean you're financially helpless. So the whole point is you have to be intentional. I'm not saying you have to obsess over every single purchase, but just think to yourself, do I need this? Is this why I really want to travel, so should I spend my money on the 5th matcha this week? Or should I, guys, I don't think you understand how much I love matcha. But anyways, do I need to spend on the matcha? Probably not. So let's be more intentional with our spending. Okay, so now we know how much the trip is gonna cost. We have a travel fund. We're being intentional with our spending. Now we need the actual plan. Okay, so this is the part where you're gonna work backwards from when you actually want to go on your trip. So let's say I wanna go to Bali in the next 6 months. Now I need to see how much do I need to put away every month, or how much do I need to put away every week. Total cost, time frame, monthly savings goal. Now I have an actual target. I know how much money I need. I know exactly what I'm working towards. And if the number you're looking at is like, oh, $2,000, $5,000 in the next 6 months, that seems a little unrealistic. That's okay. That just means you need to reevaluate your plan. Adjusting your plan could look like comparing flights, extending your time frame. Maybe instead of 6 months, you give yourself 8 or 9 months. It looks like changing your accommodation perhaps, or reevaluating your activities. The point isn't to push yourself into a plan that doesn't work, but push yourself into a plan that works for you. Maybe you don't care about staying in the fanciest hotel because you're gonna be out exploring all day. Or maybe there's one specific activity that you've been wanting to do for a long time and you don't mind spending a lot of money on that. That's literally the whole point. You need a trip that prioritizes you and your budget. So let's bring everything back. You're a university student, you want to travel. I don't want you to keep saying one day, one day. Figure out what that day actually looks like. Because traveling doesn't have to be something you put off until you're older or until you have a massive salary. You can start now and just start with what you already have. So if there's somewhere you've been dreaming of going, I hope this video has made you realize that it's actually not as impossible as you may have thought. Now we just need to turn it into a plan. So with that being said, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna get to Bali, Dubai, Qatar, Japan, London, France, Greece, and all those places.